So I've been promising this for a little while, doing a tour, an updated tour of our house since we're settled in. We moved in May of 2016. It's now July, almost July of 2017. So we've been here for over a year and done quite a bit of changing to the house. So I'm going to give you an updated tour. I've been torn on whether I even want to do this or not, but I get an email every other day about it. Mainly, the main reason I want to take you through this is just to talk through some of the stuff that I've been obsessing over and thinking about. So maybe it can be helpful for some of you with lighting and paint colors and things like that. And so I'm going to take you through that here today, or take you through the house. So this is, if you haven't watched the previous video when we first moved in, this is our lot. So the entrance to our house is here. The driveway, I want to say, is 400 feet long, something like that, which I love. I love being set off the street. And so we have 5.67 acres, so 5.7 acres roughly. So there's the lot line, which is the black fence that carries all the way around. And then we have, the fence, all the way over there, several hundred feet that way. I do have a lawn maintenance company. This is one of the things that I just can't, I'm not interested in, and I don't want to obsess over. And so, the lot, the property is taken care of by, by the landscaping guys. I pay, I think it's $800 a month. So crazy expensive to take care of, the property. A lot of this stuff is like natural Florida occurring, but still needs to be maintained, cut, fertilized, all that stuff. So there's the lot line over there, which carries all the way back, carries at an angle, all the way back to the corner, and so we have a pretty sizable property, which is really cool. Part of the advantage of living out in the middle of nowhere is that you get the space. So first thing you'll notice, we obviously haven't changed the roof, but the house has been painted. If you go back and look at the previous video, I'll put the link in the description. The house had red trim and had yellow walls, or yellow hardy board. And so, and it was stained trim, and we chose to paint it. Paint tends to last longer. And this with the Florida sun, it tends to get beat up. So we painted the whole exterior. You notice all the trim. The trim, we designed it to match the window frames, or closely to it. And so and then the main doors, we painted a slightly different color. I painted the front door, so painted over all of the red, so that now we've also de-yellowed the outside. You still have the yellowish rock and yellowish flagstone, but in general, we're real happy with the subtle change. One of the things we'll still update out here at some point will probably be the light fixtures. Also, this is some porch furniture I bought at a charity auction, so that really doesn't fit. That won't stay here. So we'll mess with that. And then I'm a big believer in simple landscaping. I don't want a lot of work. It means more money. So when we brought the fridge in, I broke the flagstone here, so I'll have to get that fixed. So that'll be one little project we'll do. And then of course we have the breezeway, or what you would call a porte-cochere. We'll come back around and come back out here in a minute. Let's go through the front door. Obviously painted the front doors. And so first thing you'll notice is the house is no longer yellow. The walls were yellow. The trim was all pine, polyurethane pine. Same thing with all the doors. They were all polyurethane pine. So that's all been painted over, and then the ceilings were also polyurethane pine, much like the banister here that we haven't done anything with yet. But the general idea here was to de-yellow the house with lighting, with walls. We didn't change the flooring. The flooring is just too nice to mess with. And so our designer, and I'll talk to you more about how that all went down and how we do that. Our designer, I think did a fantastic job of just getting rid of some of the stuff we didn't like, some of the yellowish stuff, and making it, you know, look like we want it to look, but without tearing the whole house from, you know, apart completely. So the thing that took us a little while to get used to was to commit to the idea was to paint. Notice the doors are gray, the trim is gray, and the walls are white, which is opposite of what you would traditionally do. You would traditionally do, you know, white trim and then gray walls or something like that. But the gray, in case you're wondering, it's Sherwin-Williams Worldly Gray. I painted all of I had the stuff painted because painting over polyurethane is a nightmare. You need to use an oil-based primer. First it needs to be scuffed, sanded, filled, and then needed to be primed with an oil-based primer and then painted. So we did an eggshell or satin, it's a satin finish on the trim, which the disadvantage of doing that is now we need to be careful that, you know, if you hit it, you'll mark it. But, you know, I'll just walk around and would touch up paint occasionally. My kids are really good about not messing that stuff up. And so we have Worldly Gray, Sherwin-Williams, satin, and then the walls are flat, and it's called Dove White. So all the whites in here are the color shade, in case you're wondering if you wanted to paint your house this color. It's called Dove White. So this was, again, main entrance. The only thing we really changed here, obviously this is our stuff that we brought in, but the main thing was the lighting fixture here, and of course the ceiling. We also changed out all the air conditioning vents to white as well, or, you know, Brian Orr did that. We'll talk more about the air conditioning in a minute. So mainly just paint and the entry area. My very 90s wall unit that I wanted to tear out no longer looks like a 90s wall unit. I think it looks, this thing is extremely expensive for them to custom build this. So what we did was, I just bought some light bulbs. I probably should have put them in. Let me turn this on so the switch is here. I've been looking for LED in some size that isn't so yellow. Everything in the house is traditionally 2700 degrees or 2700 Kelvin. I like, and I've transitioned most of the lights in the house to 3000 Kelvin, as many lights as I could get my hands on, just to not make it super white, but then to de-yellow it a little bit. But notice this here, so we had them make new glass shelves, so you'd have the light would travel through, at least to some extent, and then we have new doors and new hardware. These doors are pretty slick idea, where it looks like they're multiple doors, but then, you know, when you look at the structure of it, you know, they're just, you know, it's a superficial double door, which, you know, makes more sense for the structure of how this is set up in here. Again, super 90s. You've got your VCR, you know, tape holders, which, you know, we don't really have anything in, but, you know, just kid movies. I've given up all of my DVD collection and Blu-ray collection. I've, you know, given all. I used to have hundreds and hundreds of Blu-ray discs. So a couple of things I did here is I had them build a trim piece around the back. You know, otherwise you would see the backing portion. I don't like TVs with trim built around them. I'd rather just have it looking, you know, like it's sitting there. I hid the wires and then, you know, tied them and tucked them. So this, again, is painted in the same Worldly Gray. This was a big project to have that, you know, look like it does now. So I'm really psyched how it turned out. And again, notice all of the trim in the entire living room is all, you know, the same Worldly Gray. We did different lighting fixtures. These bulbs took me forever to find. This is I'll put the link in the description. I can't remember what, but these are 2700 Kelvin. I couldn't find a 3000 K, but it's an Edison type LED that doesn't look like an LED. Same thing with the LEDs here. All of these are fully dimmable. They're dimmable down to say 5%, 5 or 10%. One problem with a lot of LEDs. So you'll notice this is what you normally get with an LED. So these have like the cheap Phillips blade style. They're just not, I mean, the light they provide is not good. You know, the light that these provide is pretty fantastic. Same thing with these bulbs here. So these were all custom. I'm not sure what company these came from, but one of the huge advantages of hiring a designer is that she finds you stuff for a lot less money than you would pay if you went to like Pottery Barn or Restoration Hardware or something like that. This was our old Restoration Hardware light from our previous house that we brought with us. So that is Restoration Hardware with the same, you know, LED bulbs that should last like 50 years and be extremely efficient. That I transitioned to there. And notice we did keep, mainly from a cost perspective, we did keep the pine polyurethane ceiling. Sorry, the camera's having a hard time with the brightness here. So we did keep that in the main area, but all the other rooms in general, we painted over the ceiling, which is a, you know, controversial move, but has been, you know, I think a really, it's been a huge change in the way the house looks. So that's the living room. All of these doors were super high-end polyurethane. You know, they're all 8-foot doors that were all you know, wood, and so we painted over all of them. And I'm really, really psyched how they came out. I think they look fantastic. You know, so if you're a wood lover, you're probably cringing, but you know, we painted over. This is where all the kids' board games and stuff are. We didn't paint these. These don't paint so well, so I still have the kind of old style looking closet organization, but it just doesn't make sense to mess with that. So here's the hallway. Again, we carried the same color throughout. I've looked into, and we may still do this, but these two beams here, our designer wanted to move them. They are not significantly load bearing, but they do bear some load. So it'll cost, I think, about $7,500 to have a new header put in and have these done. You know, I got a quote from Kalos to have it done. It's about $8,000 to get it done. Maybe we'll do it someday. But I think there's plenty of clearance. There's plenty of room. It would open this area up if we remove those two beams, but you know, I don't know, maybe someday. We did move the couch up quite a bit. This couch isn't going to stay. We're going to do something different with the furniture in this room. I'm not sure what yet. But you know, a gas fireplace. And we obviously left the stone. That was all here before, which I think this room looks mainly just from the wall unit, looks significantly different. So what our intention is to move this couch. Fits very nicely into this room, which is kind of an odd room. I mean, I guess this would normally be someone's dining room. We're gonna make it, there's Ryan's shrine. I just got tired of looking at it sitting against the wall, so I hung it up, and I guess Michelle now feels the necessity to do a Kate shrine. But this room we painted the trim white, so this is our dove white. I forget the color on this wall, so, but it's a kind of bluish. And so also notice the entire house, this took me forever, a huge project. I replaced all of the Lutron, all the switches, all of the outlets to white. They were all a desert color, it was called, which was like a puke yellow. So all of these were swapped out. The thing that stinks is that you can't just buy the covers for these. You have to buy the whole stinking outlet. And so, you know, there's 150 of them or something in the house. So I had to replace every single one of them. So that was super inefficient. Another thing that I did, or we did, was I pulled off all of the screens from all the windows. You know, in Florida, you never open your windows. So at least we don't. I always keep the air conditioning going. So I'm going to have all the windows cleaned because of they use chlorine to get the exterior prepped for paint. This room is going to be the kids' like Mario Kart, you know, hangout room. And so notice we've got some bean bags, and Kate's little kitchen is in here. And you're always, you know, trying to teach Kate to keep her kitchen clean. She's almost 3. But this, you know, this again is where, you know, and no one really watches cable anymore, so we just have, you know, Apple TV for them to watch Netflix, and then the Wii, and so this is where, you know, Ryan comes in and plays Mario Kart. All the wires run through the wall with the exception of, I probably should run that too for the Wii bar, or just remove that stinking bar because it's kind of useless. But this room, it stinks because it has Bose Lifestyle 35 in here. There's actually a subwoofer up in the ceiling. I need to get something capped, but I don't know. I think that the unit was, I think the sub is toast, and so I disconnected it. So we have these rear speakers in the ceiling, but they don't work. So I'll probably put like a little sound bar in here or something, and this will be the place. I'm going to get rid of this Vizio. When I upgrade the TV in the home theater, I'll bring the OLED in here. But this will be a super comfy room, and we'll do like so when we have guests over, Ryan will sleep on the couch in here. But this will be a fun little room for the kids to hang out in. So here is, down the hallway, we didn't replace the granite here, but these were all, a typical, pine wood. So we had the cabinets refinished, painted, and then new hardware. So we have, different hardware on the cabinets. This was like a wine rack that, there was a whole big wine rack that we just had them removed and just left those two pieces. I think it looks fine. Rest of the hallway, again. Now, our house, the what it's called is, I guess, modern country farmhouse or something is what our designer called it. But now the goofy pantry door that I hated so much kind of fits. There's our pantry. So again, we still have the yellow stuff in here, but money no object. If I'm rich and famous someday, maybe we would replace that, but I don't think I ever do it no matter what. So that's what our pantry looks like. And then this is the door we usually come through, the side entrance. So this bathroom is already done. It's kind of goofy. I think we'll probably gut this. We're gonna pull the flooring. So phase 2 or 3. Notice also, if you go back to the old videos, we had brown toilets. Now we have white toilets. Or at least 2 of the 4 toilets in the house are now white, or 2 of the 5 are white. But we just painted this, painted the ceiling, and notice the lights in here are still very yellow, so we haven't replaced that. So we'll probably do this, and then the laundry room will be phase 2 or 3. Michelle wants to do like the white wood like lockers for each of the kids, so you can come in here and dump all your crap. So we'll probably tear the floors out, get rid of this kind of monstrosity over here, clean this up, and probably do custom cabinetry in here someday. And there's white trim, white ceilings with I don't know, some kind of grayish blue finish. And there's my really hideous but extremely high functioning Speed Queen setup. So the cabinets in here are all dove white, just like the walls. I wanted a Sub-Zero fridge. A couple of things, and this is where my obsession comes in. I didn't want any kind of water dispensing from the fridge. I don't like fridges that have that big old box on the front, because then water ends up running down your stainless steel fridge. And so in order to do that, we needed to have an ice maker. Not in the fridge though. I didn't want to have to go into the fridge or freezer. Michelle was adamant about French doors because of the amount of space. Look how much room this freaking thing has. We got it half empty. And so the one of the keys was that I didn't want ice or water dispensing in the fridge. And so here's the freezer, and so we don't have any. There's an actual ice dispenser in here, we just don't use it because this was a really expensive thing to choose to do. We did a ice maker over here on the side, and it has we call it the Sonic Ice, but whatever that ice is called, it's freaking awesome. So we have our own ice dispenser over here, and then I had to do a whole filtration system in the water so that I can just take water right out of the tap. So that was something that was important to me. This is I think an ASCO, which they're in relationship or in partnership with Sub-Zero Wolf, and so this is an ASCO, absolutely amazing dishwasher. This thing is so cool, or Alasco, sorry. So all your silverware goes up top, super slick. And then it has all kinds of different features and functions. We're kind of figuring out how to make it work and how to use it best. But that thing is fantastic. Yeah, ASCO, I was right. ASCO. Super sick. And it actually works. The Bosch we had in our previous house didn't work for squat. So we decided to ditch the whole normal traditional gourmet kitchen option and go with just a large double 48-inch Wolf. That sucker cost me darn near, bankrupted me, but it's pretty fantastic. We're not chefs, but we do, cook, or I know we have the big house, so we host Thanksgiving and stuff. But so you have the Wolf 48-inch range, and then the 52-inch hood up above, which vents, and then did this really sick, but very basic, hood, custom hood that we wanted, or hood cover, or whatever you want to call that, and then the Wolf microwave, and this is a warming drawer, which is totally unnecessary but super cool. So the Wolf microwave, you would think it'd be annoying being down low, but it's really not. I was really frustrated with that. I didn't think we were doing that, but now I love it. I love it how it's down there. It's out of the way. It's easy to reach. It's right at hand level. And then the warming drawer looks like this, which you can use so this would take the place of our crock pot. You can use this as a crock pot. Michelle, when she makes dinner, before I'm at the gym or something, she'll come in, or she'll just throw it in there, set it at 120 degrees and leave it. But man, this kitchen is sick. All the drawers. One of my next projects will be drawer organization, getting them all dialed in, but they're all your typical soft close. More storage than we know what to do with. So I'm going to do like pegboards and these bigger drawers. You put our cups and stuff here so the kids can get through them without us bugging us every time. But obviously all the hardware has been done as well. Lazy Susan in the corner, and plenty of storage. We don't even have a single thing above the fridge. And then we decided to do this fantastic. This is a backsplash brick, so this is a real brick. It's shaved brick that then in backsplash form. And so we did that. And again, we had nothing to do with this. And the designer, this is all our designer, Laurel. So we carried that into this room as well. This room was red, painted the ceiling, so man, this couldn't have come out any better. This was the table we already had. And we did a new lighting fixture, which is pretty fantastic. Took our old, chalkboard from our previous house, Restoration Hardware chalkboard. Michelle always writes little motivational quotes on there. And again, notice we painted the ceiling and all the sliders, all the trim and everything in here. We did an incinerator. It's so funny listening to the plumbing company when I'm telling them about what I want, and I'm the only person they've ever met that has such demands that I have of specifics. I want to know the details of why this specific product, and then I'm going to go and do a little bit of research on it and then choose it. Most people don't care about their sink or what the sink looks like, or they're more concerned about what it looks like than how it operates. This is kind of funky, and I fought everybody on this. I didn't like this, but it's turned out okay. So this is a pressurized, so it turns the garbage disposal on. I don't like that because you have to open it like when your hands are wet, you're flinging water all over the place. But I also didn't want to cut my really fancy, nice countertops and put it up here somewhere. So the only problem with doing that is it's not as functional. So I fought everybody on that. That's another big thing, is transitioning to LED. We had a lot of light in here before. This would be blazing hot. Now it's cool to the touch because everything is LED. The cabinet, the under cabinet lighting is all LED. These now, require a fifth or a sixth of the amount of power that we had before. And then the designer decided to do some open shelving, which looks pretty cool. So there's our kitchen. So let's take a walk back to the master. Actually, let's go in this little side room first. So we replaced, if you haven't seen it, you can go back and look at the AC videos, but we replaced the AC in the entire house. We did that before any of this remodel. So Brian Orr of Kalo Services came and dialed us in. My electric bill with the carrier system that we have has dropped around $400 a month. So we've been averaging, we were averaging $700 to $1,100 a month. It's absolutely insane. I'm still having an energy study come because I still think I'm paying a lot more than I should be. And so now our electric bill is $500 to $600. It's pretty significant. So in the summer where we'd have a $1,000 bill or $900 bill, now we have a $600 bill, which is significant. So this room, we haven't really done much in here. This isn't going to look like this, so this will be also part of phase whatever, 2 or 3. But we're gonna end up doing some like shiplap on the walls and end up doing a specific desk. But for now, this is pretty, still looks decent. This was our old dining room, whatever you want to call it. You know, one of the chairs was there, our dining room table, and so this has become our, our temporary office setup. And we did the lighting fixture. I also did the Cree LEDs in here, so that's also reduced our energy bill quite a bit. Doing all new white grills because those are all oil for bronze. And again, all the doors and trim have been painted. This is our, just kind of a little secondary closet for storage, and my suits have been demoted. My suits and shirts. I got all these fancy stuff I just don't wear very much anymore. Most of my clients I just don't freaking care. So why am I getting all suited up for sweating in Florida? So this is the master area. So we put this mirror, which we had on our dining room before, on the wall, which is kind of a neat spot. Makes this area feel a little bigger. Plus, when you're coming out of the closet, you can check yourself out, I guess. Here's our closet. This is, and this is to do this closet would be so expensive. Maybe someday we'll do it, but this is my little corner over here with all of my Rogue shirts and basically Obsessed Garage and BMW Porsche shirts, mainly Obsessed Garage shirts, and then all my CrossFit shoes, and then Michelle's stuff is over here. We keep it pretty neat. Maybe not as neat as my standards have been most of my life, but still neat enough. So ceiling is done in here, lighting has been done in here, and then this bathroom was completely gutted. This is the room that's still weird for me to feel like I have this in my house. It's pretty insane. If you go back and look at the other video, there was a big tub over here. All of this was some weird like pine cabinetry. The ceilings were pine. Let me turn some lights on in here. But man, this turned out fantastic. I let the designer and Michelle choose. I don't normally like anything chrome, but it works in here. My intention is to get all of my drawers looking like this at some point. So I've been testing and playing with some different organizational solutions for our cabinets. But we've got so much space. There's like nothing in these cabinets. So we've got so much space to store stuff that we don't actually have and probably never will, but it looks good. The symmetry of this was important. And then this shower is insane. Absolutely insane. Brian Orr makes fun of our fancy chair in here, but this is all tiled. That gosh darn thing on that wall was something I fought them on as well. I don't care. I really don't care about that design, but that was probably the most expensive thing in the whole frickin' house. And then my metal shower heads. So this here, if you go back and look at the other video, there was like a big wall here. It turned out that like the darn epicenter of the house is in that darn header there. So the plan was to take the glass all the way to the ceiling. I'm actually glad we didn't, because it turned out fantastic. Turned out really great. And we got our foo-foo fancy light on the ceiling that I hit half the time when I'm taking my shirt off and I have to reposition it. We now have white toilets. There was a big wall unit thing in here that we removed. And then we were kind of torn on what to do with our towel rack because we didn't want to drill into our fancy stuff. And so this actually kind of worked out nicely. Even though it's in the water closet, we never really closed that door anyway. So here's the master. Really, this is all the furniture we already had. I took this and mounted this to the wall. We had this in our previous house, so everything in here, we didn't buy anything. All we had was the painted and lights. And so we got rid of all the window treatments. We really don't need any window treatments in this house. At least I don't think we do. And so this ceiling, painting the ceiling in here has transformed this. I'm gonna do a new fan at some point. Probably either a white or black fan. But our master, we're really happy. It's clean, simple, organized, comfy, structured. We'll also probably do new carpeting someday, but this carpeting's fine. I like carpeting. I know most people don't. I like carpeting in the bedrooms because it's comfortable. I don't like my feet touching the normal dirty floor. So that's the master bath. We didn't do much upstairs. So another part of phase 2 is we're gonna do some wrought iron, a wrought iron balcony, redo that, and we'll probably do new treads and then paint paint this section. So this will be redone, at some point. We had them come back and paint the wainscoting on the walls here. New lighting in the hallway, same lighting we have down in the living room. And so the biggest change up here, we just took all of Kate's furniture from her previous room and put it in here. Looks so cool. I spent hours getting those mounted perfectly, maybe not hours, but an hour. This is Kate's room, and so we still have brown tub, brown toilet, and so maybe someday I don't know, we'll see. Oh, we got a light bulb out. So, change that to the Cree LED as well. So that's Kate's little room. Pretty nifty. It's kind of a cool how they carried the ceiling in here. It looks so much better painted. Here's the kids' little landing area, little kids' play area. Really didn't do anything in there other than paint. And then this is Rai-Rai's room. Poor Rai-Rai hasn't gotten anything. We still have to get rid of this gosh darn crib. I'm gonna go light that thing on fire. So Rai-Rai's room will do something someday. Rai-Rai's room still has brown toilets too, but we painted the walls at least. And we left the ceiling in here. Here's Rai-Rai's closets. And then this is the crawl space, or not crawl space, massive attic that we've cleaned up and organized. And then there's our second air handler. Brian ordered, dialed us in. So that goes back, what, 50 something, 60 feet over above the home theater. So here's the exterior, the back porch. This is where we haven't done anything out here. I don't know that we'll do much. I'll probably do new fans and we'll do better lighting. There's a TV up there, and which we never use. There's also audio out here. The Goofy Bose system is all connected, so I'll just leave that. These air vents used to operate, which was a huge inefficiency. So I got to get a blank panel and just get rid of the switch over here on the wall. But really, there isn't much to do out here, I don't think. The outdoor kitchen. So I moved the old fridge out here, gave away the other fridge. We have a grill that I had to replace not too long ago. So this is what we did while the kitchen was torn apart. We used this area out here. But this is why, we bought this house. It's just awesome. Just amazing. This is the TV up here, which comes, it's on a cantilever bracket, so it comes out. And then hot tub, which we never use. And then the pool, the kids, Kate just started going down the slide now. So the pool, and then the the little rock wall is a waterfall. Freaking kids' toys everywhere. And then out here we've got, so notice, this is no longer red. Everything's been painted. And so this is an outdoor bathroom, so the kids and everybody that's over doesn't have to come mess around and use the house. And then this is just a closet for stuff, toys. So my next thing on the house will be to upgrade the pool pump. I want to go to a very variable speed pool pump, have a more efficient heating system, so we can use the pool year round. If you're going to have it, you might as well use it. And so this is the outdoor area, which is super slick. We love it out here. The kids probably swim twice a day. It's awesome. So I'm walking outside through the porte-cochere. This is where we'll go. We'll go look at the home theater next. So if you haven't seen the video series of, well, actually let's talk about this while we're out here, of the air conditioning system. We ended up replacing the entire house. These are the Carrier Infinity system. So the smaller air handler does the upstairs. This air handler does the main portion of the house. And then there's another air handler over on the other side of the house for the master area, the master suite. I also upgraded the entire network in the house, so now I have a Ubiquity wireless bridge. It goes out to my pole barn. If you can see it out on the corner of the building over here. There's a network switch in here, so I have about 200 megabits per second, which is good for being out here where we live. So there's my network switch. The thing popped off the wall. I'm gonna have to fix that. I also mentioned earlier about the water filtration system. So notice these suckers. That was the sediment filter that no longer does anything. Now we have this. So I've updated that, gotten that dialed in. So there's our salt tank. So now I've got this bigger tank is an aeration system or iron breaker, and then the other is our softener. And so those two resin-based units are fantastic. We put a new water heater in that is a what is this thing? It's a heat pump. So there's basically an air conditioner on the top. 80-gallon water heater. So I went from a 110-gallon, I think, to a 80-gallon. Don't quote me on that, I forget. And then I ended up we have a recirculator pump because of the distance that runs to the house. We battled that for a little while, but now I've got this Grundfos, very efficient, self-sensing recirculator pump, which is fantastic. And we have a whole house generator, so when the power goes out, because of lightning here in Florida, power goes out all the time, so we never have any interruptions in power. Now this yellow was the color the whole house was. So there's the generator, and the well was in that little center area. And here's our new Carrier Infinity. So there's our Carrier Infinity mini split. I think it's like a 26 seer. Just amazing unit. This is where Michelle parks. And then this is my theater. I don't know if you can notice the yellow difference. These are 2700 Kelvin, and these are cheap, Home Depot grade LED. Very different than the rest of the house. And so I have a Lutron Caseta system here that controls the lighting, also controls my whisper quiet drapes. So notice there is a little bit of light bleed, but it's pretty darn dark in here. So this, if you haven't seen this series, I have a whole multi-part series on the design of this home theater. Yes, it's a 65-inch TV. No, I do not want a projector. These are all Rebel Performa 3, Marantz AV8802A, Sunfire Theater Grand amplifiers. The fronts and center are bi-amplified. This is 7.4.2. So I have two subwoofers, the 7-channel surround. So there's a subwoofer in the corner. Actually, I guess I have 3 subwoofers, but 2 main units. So there's the JTR Monster Dual 18s. So we have 2 back surrounds, 2 side surrounds, the Dolby Atmos 4 overhead. That's the .4. Now that I have the carrier system, I'm going to ditch the fan and get another acoustic panel up there. And then here's the sub over here in the corner. The walls here are called Harbor Gray, and then the white in here is Duck White from Benjamin Moore. And then this is a Lazy Boy Gebben couch with all GIK acoustics treatment, wall treatments or acoustic treatments that are all mathematically calculated. So the position of these are very specific. That's the home theater, and like I said, there's plenty of videos on the channel if you want to check those out. Cables are from Blue Jeans. I like looking at cables, or speaker cables anyway, so we'll walk around back here. We have a little fire pit, which ends up being my box burning pile, but we spend a lot of time out here. That's what's so great about this with young kids, that they have their buddies, everybody comes here and hangs out, and I've lightened up a little bit. There's all the pool equipment out back there behind the building that I've got to work on next. But then we always end up burning all the boxes of all the weird crap that I get either bought or gets sent to me. And then here's my pole barn area. So the new garage, which we just saw, the kitchen and bathroom, or my new garage. My new garage is going to go back here, way back, up against the back of the property line. It's going to go here. The driveway will continue and will snake around behind the pole barn, and so that's where that will go. And so, but I love how the driveway, you can kind of choose your own adventure. It's kind of cool. Ryan and I sometimes will race when mommy's not here. I put this sidewalk in, I put the gutters in, and then the pole barn's been painted the same color as the house. They even painted the little swing out here. Michelle doesn't know this, but this whole area is probably going to be gone when I build a garage. I don't want to see this crap. Ryan's soccer goal out back there for practicing. You know what I'll probably build someday, if I'm fortunate enough? We'll probably build a sport court, if you've ever looked at those. So Ryan and his buddies can come and play here. But this was all, I did all the rock, gutters, repainted. This has all been painted. I did all the lights. If you haven't seen the many part series of me building and designing the wash bay, the only real difference here now is that it's painted. I've gotten rid of the guy's coming to pick up the S2000. The silver one sold. I sold it and never even listed it. There's the CR I'm going to work on making a video for you soon here. My other 2 cars, and the truck is out front, which you saw, but my other 2 cars are at the garage facility where the trailer's there too. And bucket filler. Again, if you guys are watching this video, I'm sure you've seen this area. Got some towels to fold. And so my buddy still has to come and get those from me. These buckets are full of some other products that I don't use anymore. But this is the I just got a shipment of stuff yesterday. This is the, you know, where the wash bay is. Again, there's multi-part series on what this is about. So anyway, this is the property. It goes back to here. You also have to remember, a lot of you guys that are from, you know, from California or from New York, or, you know, or a major city somewhere, that, you know, this is a lot of property, and it's, you know, the house is 4,750 square feet. You know, it's a lot less expensive to live here. There's no state income tax, and so, you know, the house is, although a, you know, nice, you know, expensive house, it's not as insane as other places. And so, one thing I'd urge you, you know, if you're going to do something like this, where, again, if you go and watch the before video and you compare it to this, you want a designer, and so you set the budget and then she builds in. And so I think I probably paid the designer 10 grand, but she probably saved me 40. I didn't add up what I spent on the kitchen and the bathroom and stuff, but it, you know, the main expense were the appliances and the cabinets, of course. The bathroom really wasn't as expensive. I think the bathroom was maybe, you know, $15,000, $20,000, which, you know, again, is still a lot of money, but we'll have it forever. We plan on being here for a long time. You know, I shouldn't say that, but that's the plan. So anyway, our designer, her name's Laurel Gebben, or if you ever want to connect with her, if you're local, then just hit me up. She's in Orlando, in Windermere specifically, so I'll be happy to connect you with her. But anyway, I hope that, you know, Michelle didn't want me to make this video. I didn't really want to make this video. I hope that you get, you know, that there's a certain sense of materialism here. I hope that you get that this is kind of our homestead. We've chosen to invest in this place where we live, and you know, we'll skip on things like, you know, expensive vacations and things like that. This is where we spend, you know, the lion's share of our time, and we wanted to make it the way we wanted it. And we've been so fortunate to have the means to do some of the stuff we've done. I'm sure I'll do some more stuff to it, but I hope you get how, you know I don't have the most excited demeanor about things, but it's really awesome, man. This place is great. So anyway, thanks for taking the tour of my house, and I hope you watch some of the other videos, and stay tuned for more crazy stuff that I'm doing in my garage and with my cars. Thanks for watching. What happens when the force pulls you back, your foot naturally comes off the gas. You have to keep your foot to the floor.